So, today's video, can you heal a herniated disc without surgery, without going under the knife? It's a very popular question, both on the internet and on YouTube, of course. And I'm going to give you my experience and a little look into the literature to see what that says about this particular issue as well. Now, folks, if you do enjoy my lower back pain tips, my sciatica nerve pain tips that I try to bring to you every week, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, okay? So let's get into this. Now listen, first thing, I am not a doctor, okay? This is my experience of working with hundreds and hundreds of lower back pain patients over the span of 15, 20 odd years. I set up referral programs with neurologists and regular doctors, orthopedic surgeons, both in the USA and here in Europe as well. And I'm bringing this knowledge for you, hopefully to get some benefit from it in my videos, my blogs, etc., etc. But listen, if you do suffer from chronic lower back pain, you've got some serious sciatic issues, disc herniations, and you're really not getting anywhere, you're stuck, you don't know where to go, go and check out my lower back pain recovery challenge. The link is down below, www.bashbackpain.com/course. 21-day video program. I guide you every single step of the way, decompression stretches, behavior modification techniques, various other types of core strengthening work, daily living exercises to bring you pain relief. Check it out today, okay? All right, listen, first up, what is a herniated disc? So, we have the vertebra in the spine, okay? Between these, we've got shock absorbers, and these are our intervertebral discs. Now, the center of this disc is a sort of jelly-type substance. It's called the nucleus pulposus. And surrounding the nucleus, we've got a very thick, tough, fibrous collagen-type layer called the annulus fibrosus. Now, typically, if you look at this picture, it's going to pop up on the screen. We've got a normal disc, okay, in the top right there. The pinkish white material, that is the nucleus pulposus in the center, and the yellow around the edge, that is the tough, fibrous annulus fibrosus substance. Now, it can happen over time. It can happen from acute car crash type injuries, or you have a severe fall. The nucleus will start to push and break through those collagenous annulus fibrosus fibers, and eventually it can become a herniated disc. The disc material, the jelly, like a jelly donut, will explode. It will push through. That can, of course, go right at the back of the disc. It can separate. It's called disc sequestration. I can't even say the word. Sequestration, which is the bottom side, the bottom right of the picture when you look at the video, where a piece of the actual disc nucleus material actually breaks off, yeah, and it disappears, can disappear and cause a lot of nerve problems, issues within the spinal column itself, where the nerves are in the back of your spine. So that is basically what a herniation happens. Essentially, the nucleus pushes through the annulus fibers, full herniation, it breaks out, okay? And then, of course, that can get into causing back pain, and it can cause a really severe sciatica nerve pain. Myself, I had L5-S1, that's the lower lumbar spine disc herniation. I had a bulging disc at L4, L5. For me, the sciatica pain was brutal. If you've heard me talk about this before, it was agonizing. I basically was living on the floor for almost 2 weeks. I was full of painkillers. I remember once I got up to take a plate back to the kitchen. My girlfriend had cooked me dinner, and I thought, right, I'm going to take this back for her. And I got up, and I maybe made it 3-4 steps, and the sweat just, the pain was so intense. I had to literally dropped on the floor, put the plate on the chair, and said, like, oh, babe, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Yeah, it was so bad. And I had the choice of surgery. I could have gone on the next week and got surgery. I was in the USA at the time. Very easy. But I said no. Yeah. Why did I say no? Well, actually, when you look at the literature, approximately 70% of disc herniations actually reabsorb. Okay, they do reabsorb. They go back into the intervertebral space, into the space between your vertebrae. They do reabsorb. Now, in some cases, yes, it is necessary for surgery. What are those cases? Well, if somebody has very bad neurological problems, like you can't feel your feet, you're struggling to walk, you've got bladder urination problems, bowel movement problems, which can happen when the nerves get affected by the disc herniation, then yes, in those cases, surgery will probably be the best course of action. However, in the other cases, and that particular paper I'm referencing, it's down in the section down below, you can have a look at that. It's from 2017. They did find in some cases, in the UK it was actually 82% absorption, Japan was around about 70, so US was about 65. It averaged out roughly about 70% all across the board. Now, do I just kick back on the couch, you know, watch a bit of Netflix and my disc will reabsorb? Not exactly, no, okay? You have to put your body into the correct positions to make it conducive for the reabsorption to occur, all right? Now, I'm going to give you my top 4 important things for this to actually occur, for this to happen, right? Number 1, very, very important point, is you want to take the load off of the disc, which is damaged, okay? Take the load off that area. The best way to do this is by doing some form of decompression stretch. Now, I actually have a very, very specific video on lower back decompression stretch for the lower back region. I'm actually going to link it at the end of this video. There's another video, go and check it out at the end of this video, okay? So number 1 is decompression stretches. Number 2, might seem very obvious, but that is a very effective, thorough rehabilitation strengthening program. You want to make sure that your core is strong, your abdominals are strong, they're going to support your back, they're going to take some of the load off the disc when your muscles are strong. It makes complete sense when you undertake a program of rehabilitation. Make sure it's specific to you. It's progressive, it's going to guide you all the way through to that recovery. So, number 2 is a proper, effective rehabilitation program. You can't just sit back and hope for the best, okay? Number 3, very important, is mobility and stretching. Now, very common occurrence happens once we get injured and we have pain. We tend to try to protect the area of pain. So we will quite often kind of constrict the area. Maybe we'll hike up our hip, or we'll twist a little bit differently. What effectively happens after that is the body starts to sort of tighten up one side of the body, will start to get tighter. That can cause pain in that particular area. But also we are now unbalanced. So what we end up doing is actually putting more stress on the original area that was injured. So very often we have to correct our imbalances, make ourselves limber, keep ourselves mobile, keep ourselves flexible, to put the body in an effective area for it to heal itself, to be conducive for the reabsorption. So stretching, mobility is very, very important. Number 4, my top tip number 4 is hydration, okay? I've mentioned in blog posts before, other videos, a lot of the body's tissues are made up 90% of water, okay? Your discs between your vertebrae, they are exactly the same, almost roughly 90% water. So being hydrated is very, very important for the health of your discs, but it's also important for when you're stretching the tissues, because if I'm trying to stretch a piece of leather, which is not hydrated, that actually causes pain. That can cause inflammation, okay? You want to make sure you're properly hydrated, okay, drinking pure water. So when you do your stretches, you actually will be supple and you can actually stretch the tissue, okay? So that's my top 4 tips for putting yourself in a good position to start the disc reabsorption process. Now, there are many, many more tips and guides to help you with that process. If you want to check those out, that's in part of my other videos, please check those out. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and share, comment, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.